Yo guys, X1 here, and I'm just doing a little vlog. I want to talk about some of the things going on in the UK, and today I want to talk about plateauing in Melee. Something I see a bit too much in the UK. People who've reached just a plateau where they can't seem to improve any further despite what efforts they may make. This includes people who are very dedicated to improving, but nonetheless seem to come up against like a brick wall or some obstacle they can't overcome, and gonna try and address some of these problems today. Hope to get everyone off of their plateaus, you know. So first, let's just dive right in there. A lot of times when I've beaten a lower level player at a tournament, just in pools or in the early stages of the bracket or whatever, afterwards they ask me, what am I doing wrong? And I kind of just don't agree with this question, like, generally. Like, I can point out to you some mistakes that you're making or a habit that you have, for example, a tech habit or just like your approach habits, and it's like, me telling you that might help you do better next time, but like fundamentally, if you have a bad habit with your techs or your approaches, you need to notice that yourself. You need to be able to pick up on these, because like you need to adapt and change up the way you're playing over the course of a set or even over a single game, not just like over the course of 6 months. Not just learn something, have a habit now and break it within 6 months. Like you need to be really aware of these things straight away. And this ties into another thing that happens is people who I've beaten quite badly say to me like, oh, like I don't know what I need to do to improve, or like, and if you're saying this to me, then that means you're really not seeing the game properly. Like, if you just think about this for a moment, if you're playing against Professor Pro or someone like someone much better than you, like, or even someone just like one level better than you, like this person is beating you, that means like at least one time each stock, probably many more times they've outplayed you. That means in this game that you're playing, there's many opportunities for you to see a situation where you've done something and got punished for it, or they've outplayed you. That means if you just been getting whooped by someone for an hour and you haven't seen a single thing that you can improve on, I mean, you're really looking at the game wrong, because like these situations going on constantly, they're all around you. You should be able to pick up on them. If you can't see where you need to improve, that means you need to look more critically and more analytically at your game, and you need to really think about it, not just go, oh, I don't know what to do, oh, let's play another friendly, you know. Basically, Melee is like a really deep and interactive game. Fundamentally, like you are playing against the person, and if you are playing one-dimensionally, you're just doing your thing, and that person is trying to adapt to you and mix up the way they're playing in order to punish you, then you're definitely going to lose. Like, so yeah, that's basically what I wanted to talk about, and I want to start today by talking about the core of this, which is having a game plan in Melee when you're playing. And it's just crazy how in the UK there's so many people who don't talk about their game plan, or sometimes don't even seem to have a game plan, at least in certain matchups, and that just leads to them just basically just losing for free because they haven't thought about what they're going to do. My first tournament tip: when you sit down to play a tournament game, after you've picked your characters and you know what stage you're playing on, just spend 30 seconds to really think about the matchup and think about your game plan for this matchup. So for example, if I'm playing Captain Falcon and I'm up against a Marth, I'm going to be thinking, okay, so this Marth might like using a neutral air. If they do, that's going to be beating out my neutral air approaches, so I'm probably going to want to be staying on the ground, dash dancing, and I know that Marth is going to be trying to use his down tilt as like a low commitment move to poke me, so I'm going to be thinking about how I can space around that, how I can work around that, and looking for opportunities to get reads. Whereas like just a step of thinking in your own head through what you're going to be doing in the game is going to be really helpful for you, because if you don't, then you might just go in. For example, I might just go in and just run a nair at Marth, and he might use his own nair to cut me out, and I'm going to get punished. And that's just because I didn't really think enough before I started playing. And it's just like, this is how having a game plan can help you enormously. And then once you've got that game plan, it's something you can build on and adapt with. One of the last things I want to emphasize is that learning how to play Melee and learning how to get better at Melee and learning how to improve in Melee is not something that comes easy. It's like an effortful task. It requires you to put brain power in. It's not something that's going to happen on its own. Like, there's bits you can pick up here and there by just playing friendlies and not thinking about it. But like, to actually improve in Melee, like, you have to be really thinking, and you have to just be aware. Like, you're going to have to use your brain a lot. Like, doesn't mean it's too hard for you to do. Doesn't mean that you won't be able to do it. It just means you have to be prepared for like this mental effort. And even though like a lot of time you might just be playing friendlies for fun, when you are playing to try and improve, you need to just get in the zone. You need to just really think about your decisions. Just try and sit down with someone who's on a similar level to you, who also has like a similar attitude towards improving, and just try and sit down and both of you really think about the game. And if you're playing against someone who's better than you and they're just exposing you over and over again, like you need to just maybe just stop playing for like 1 minute and just think, just think, okay? Because like if someone, if the better player is saying to you, oh, you always do, say like a ledge hop aerial from the edge, which is like a really common mistake that new players have, and you're getting hit by this, and they punish you and they tell you about it, and then later in the game you do it again, and then the next game you do it again, and then in the next game you do it again, like this, like that's awful. Like you should be doing that, and then once you get punished for it once, you should not be doing it. If you're still doing it 3 or 4 games in a row, like you are not making changes to your game plan in a quick enough fashion, and you need to be sorting out straight away. Like you honestly, like if you're really thinking like, oh, deep down I want to be like a real serious competitor for this game, and you are making a mistake like that someone punishes you for, tells you about your punishing, tells you that they're punishing you for it, and then you still are doing it like 5 games later, like playing melee is definitely not the answer here. Like playing just more games where you're just making the same mistakes over and over and over again is definitely not like what you actually need to do. You definitely need to really, really, really use your mental effort into changing the way that you play, and not just falling into your old routines. Realizing what your old routines were and making a new game plan that does not involve any of these awful mistakes that you're getting called out for. So yeah, I wasn't trying to fire any shots there or anything. Just wanted to say, like, if you are getting caught doing the same thing over and over and over again, like, and you're serious about improving, you need to just realize that it's not on, and you need to be able to fix these things straight away. Because like, you might think, oh, when I fix this habit, I'll be good. But like, realistically, the problem is not that you have a bad habit. The problem is that you can't adjust and fix your bad habits immediately and quickly within the course of a game or a set. Like, the problem is that your habits are taking much, much longer, like months, years, for you to break out of. And it's not just, oh, this one thing that you're doing that is your current habit that is the problem. The problem is that you have habits that you can't break. That is the real problem, and that's what you need to be addressing. So yeah, guys, melee's hard, but if you work at it, you can be good still. So I hope you enjoyed the vlog, and let me know what you thought.